yourself at having a crack at writing, what about the whole idea of writing a short story? This morning, talking to Zooey Korhonen, who is with Western Riverina Arts, about the Murrumbidgee short story competition for this year. It's their 5th year of celebrating creative voices across the region. Good morning.
Good morning, Sally.
Now let's talk about how this competition works.
Yes, so entries are open now. The competition works by inviting writers of all ages. Our youngest category is under 12 and it goes all the way up to open. To enter for free up to 2 stories, to tell us what they've got going on, basically. Tell us their story, tell us a story they've got floating around their head. And just celebrating our regional writers. They don't get enough celebration, in our opinion.
And you know what? It's not just the regional writers, but they're telling stories that people regionally can identify with. So it's an important thing, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is. It matters so much. Storytelling is such a powerful way to connect people, and by publishing the winning and the highly commended stories, we really get the chance to share regional stories with anyone from anywhere.
Wow. So who is able to enter this?
So we have 3 entry categories, under 12, under 18 and open, which means anybody of any age, walk of life, background can enter. Everybody is welcome. It's free to enter, and we have all of the entry requirements on our website too, so people can check that back as well.
So is that limited by council areas, or is it right across the Riverina?
So this one is for the Western Riverina arts communities. So that's the local government areas of Griffith, Leeton, Narrandera and Murrumbidgee, which is quite a large area.
Yeah, it's right. And you would capture an enormous breadth of stories. If you look back at previous competitions, what sort of entry level do you get? How many do you get from across the regions?
It does vary year to year. We get everything from entire class groups with teachers encouraging their whole classes to enter all together, all the way to new residents. So last year, our open category winner was actually a new resident to the area. They had only lived in Narrandera Shire for a few months, in fact.
That's really cool. So that is giving people contact with the wider creative community, but also getting them the opportunity to tell their story, which is a lovely thing. Now, I'm interested also to find out that you are looking for sponsors as well. So are you, arts and culture organisations, businesses, any families who want to do a bit of philanthropy, I'm thinking?
Yeah, so we're happy to hear from anyone who's interested in sponsoring. We do have a selection of sponsors and partners so far for this year, which are Riverina Writing House, Narrandera Arts and Creative Network, and J&D Briggs. And if people want to sponsor a new category, if they'd like to sponsor our event where we announce and celebrate the winners, any way that people would like to get involved, they're more than welcome to contact us and find out more.
That's a really lovely way of getting involved, isn't it? But what advice would you offer to someone who has never had a crack at writing a short story before, but this sort of piques their interest? What do you think?
Well, honestly, the main thing I say to start with is something that you care about. You don't need to sound like anybody else, but you can tell the story that only you can tell. And remembering also that these stories can be fiction or non-fiction. They're quite a short. In the world of short stories, they're about half the length of the maximum that people could write for a short story. So they don't have to be these incredibly long-winded stories. And the old saying may be to write what you know, but I want people to also acknowledge that that doesn't mean they can't learn while they write.
That's really clever, isn't it? And also to sort of trust your inner voice, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so a clear voice, originality, and really focusing on something that's going to linger long after our judges have finished reading is really important. The variety of stories that have won or been highly commended in the past is so diverse that any genre is welcome. We do tend to, for publishing purposes, we'll put a warning in front if a story isn't PG, sort of rating-wise. But other than that, we welcome literally anything. If you've got a story to tell, please tell it. Please send it in. We've had entries coming in already, and I can't wait to see how many we get this year.
Oh, that's lovely. And I don't know about you, but it's one of my great pleasures in life. I am a reader, and reading short stories is the most beautiful discipline because a really well-written short story is an absolute jewel, isn't it?
It really is. It's something that you can read when you're waiting for a meeting or something like that. You know, you're waiting for the doctors and you just want to read something short and be beginning to end. You can read that in that time.
And it also offers the writer an opportunity to select precisely the right word, to be sparing in the way they write and create something that's, you know, there's a stillness about them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's almost like, in the same way that we experience Sonda as we're going around our lives, where we spot a person and their entire life is as unique as our own. A short story is a beautiful snapshot of a larger tale.
No, nicely described. Hey, lovely to catch up with you this morning, and I'm going to be watching with great interest to see as this process unfolds. The entries close, I think, on the 19th of September. Is that right?
That's right. So people have right up until midnight on the 19th of September. So if they're still writing at 6 p.m, that's okay. You can get it in right up until midnight.
Oh, don't tell them that. You know what writers are like. They're the greatest prevaricators. They talk about putting things on the long finger. Nice to talk to you this morning, Zooey, and let's watch with interest to see how we go in terms of entries, but also in terms of scaring up more sponsorship and other art and culture organisations, businesses, maybe even philanthropists who might be interested in helping out with that. Maybe even funding a new prize category, you know. Get in touch with Western Riverina Arts if that rings a bell for you, if that sounds like something that you might be interested in doing. It is 13 away from 10 and it's Sally Bryant with you on a Wednesday morning. I've had a text in from Frank at Oaklands who never fails to deliver. Frank says, Sally, earlier you implied there was a difference between